Play ball! Blue 22.
You are watching Sports and Sorts live on YouTube. That's 75% sports, 25% sorts. And here are your hosts, Shane and the Bry Man.
Yes, we are back. It is Monday morning at 9:25, a little bit later than 9, but we're going to be going till about 10 today, so it's going to be a pretty quick show. But we do want to have some fun things to talk about today. The main fun thing that we're going to be talking about today is our Mount Rushmore of favorite movie characters. I'm excited to hear what the Bry Man has to say about that, because I have a feeling I know at least two. I think I know two of his Mount Rushmore. And then we will also be talking about the Yankees because, you know, we had mentioned last week, should the Yankees be blown up? Should they kind of just get in the heat, in the thick of things with the trades and stuff like that, and start adding to their team to make a push? And Brian Mann said he said blow it up, let's go, let's get this thing going. And I said I think I needed to wait a week to see a little bit more. We'll talk about that, and we're going to be talking about Deshaun Watson and the trade. Plus, the Bry Man has a couple of reviews at the end that we're going to be talking about as well. I'm not sure exactly what he's going to be reviewing yet, but he said one of the movies, I think he said he's just going to wait. He didn't even want me to know. He wanted me to not know a darn thing.
It's not a big surprise.
Well, it's too late now. You wouldn't tell me before, so you're going to have to wait until the end now.
Yeah, you will.
All right, so let's get in to the show right away. I'm Shane. You can find me on Twitter at Einhornersfinkel.
The Bry Man. You can find me on Twitter at _Bry_Man.
And we are going to get right into this right away because I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. You don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but we are going to get into the
state of the Yankees.
You should slow it down even more so it just sounds even more depressing.
All right. So the state of the Yankees, I said I needed to see them wait another week. They have not really improved considering, you know, their last 10 games or so. They are 5-5. So they haven't really improved. But they are in third place now.
Wow.
So 51-47, still a winning record. Are they playing great? No. Should they have won yesterday? Yes. That was a bad loss. And I wanted to talk to you about this because I had my feeling about the Yankees yesterday. And my feeling on the Yankees yesterday, the main thing I had going in was, as much as you either like or don't dislike Domingo Germán, he might have, as far as all the starts I've seen this year, and I've seen some damn impressive starts, you know, between Kluber, Cole has had several. He was probably maybe top 3 starting performances of the year.
Yeah. I don't know how you would argue that. I mean, he gave up one hit.
Right. And it wasn't a cheapie. But he was on fire. And I was absolutely, positively blown away that after that one hit with that lead, that they took him out of the game being that dominant.
Yep.
And at 93 pitches.
Yep. And afterwards he said he had no fatigue. Like he was fine. He could have.
Why?
It was just one of those days where he had it. Oh, it was ridiculous.
Why on earth would you take him out?
So here's my question: who is to blame? Is it Aaron Boone or Brian Cashman? Who is pulling the strings of this Yankee team?
You have to blame Aaron Boone. You have to.
Well, you have to on the surface, but is this one of those things where like he gets a call in the dugout and he's like, pull him?
The only thing that you can do as far as with Cashman goes, You have to hope that Cashman takes this on his own, because if he actually made this call, then he has to take accountability. But as of right now,
don't know
it's the
who's
manager
managing the Yankees. I really don't know who manages this team.
Well,
Because if it is Aaron Boone, then how he is still employed, I have no actual idea.
Whoever's doing it is doing a poor job, obviously. I mean, that was a horrible decision.
Let me ask you something. Because
my jaw dropped. I was like,
the Yankees get dinged a lot for analytics, right? But let's be honest, a lot of teams use analytics in one form or another.
If you don't use analytics in today's game, you're dumb.
You're behind. You're behind.
You're dumb.
So you're certainly behind the curve. But what I will say though is, was there something in some book, some notebook that said to you, Domingo Germán has not only been good, but dominant against arguably the best lineup in baseball, which might get better, by the way, because they may be making a trade for Anthony Rizzo. So God help the rest of baseball if that actually happens. Yeah. Especially because the Red Sox will probably give up some prospects you've never even heard of. The bottom line is, what binder told you to take this guy out? I mean, come on, Aaron Boone. The one thing he does not have is he doesn't have managerial experience. We all know that. But the one thing he should have is at least baseball instincts, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for Christ's sake, he's like third generation, and he played the game himself for a long time and had some success in Major League Baseball. Yeah. And he's got one of the all-time Yankee highlights ever. I mean, the guy has played baseball. He knows the game. He was born into the game. He should have some baseball instinct. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that this decision was Aaron Boone's. What told you that after giving up one hit, not until the 8th inning, that this was the right call? He wasn't – first of all, he was not over 100 pitches, as you said. He was at 93. Mm-hmm. And he didn't look like he was laboring.
The only thing I could think of was – is there something in that book that you were just talking about somewhere saying Domingo Germán loses it after 90 pitches? With Pedro, after 100, he typically had lost it.
Here's what I'll say. Wouldn't you give him, though, at least one more batter? At least one.
I would give him a run.
But sure, you had a 4-run
at least. Let him actually work his way out of the inning. Yeah. Meaning, when I say it, I don't mean even if he gives up 2 runs. I mean,
let him work his way out of the game. I mean,
you're up 4-0.
Right. Yeah. And everyone and their mother knew that the second Loaizaga came in and gave up a hit,
he did not have it.
And it was 4-0 at that point still.
His ball was flat. It was
first and second, nobody else. And every single Yankee fan knew the game was over.
His ball was flat. He looked bad.
I have never seen a team like this Yankee team. This is the most Jekyll and Hyde team I think I've ever seen. And the one thing that will stand out to me at the end of this season, when it's over and there are no playoffs, and let's make no mistake, there will be no playoffs for this team. Because there's not enough, they can't sustain a run long enough to win enough games to leapfrog the teams that are in front of them. That's why I say that. It's not necessarily because, they are a mediocre team. Let's be honest. They're 4 games over 500 after 90 games. I mean, almost 100 games. We know who they are. What's going to stand out to me is the epic collapses that they've had this year. And what's more interesting about that is that the majority of these epic collapses have now taken place against teams that you probably consider to either be hated or rivals, which just makes it worse, of course. I had my brother and I were on the phone the other day, and I had run down this list of the top 5 Yankee losses of the year from 1 to 5. And what's scary is that off the top of your head, you're able to come up with a list that fast. That's really bad. You should not be able to come up with a list that quickly. All I can tell you is that 2 of them have been to the Astros. 2 of them have been to the Red Sox. One's been to the Mets. One's been to the Angels. And that's not good. I mean, you should not be able to pick out of a hat, even though we're in the middle of the current season, 5 or 6 losses that have stuck with you that much. You shouldn't be losing. You should not be collapsing. They are the biggest chokers I think I've ever seen. And that's saying something. I mean, let's be honest, as Yankee fans, unfortunately, we've seen some choking teams. 2004 comes to mind. This team, they're going to at least that team choked in the ALCS. This team is going to choke in the regular season, and they're not even going to come. I don't even think they're going to come close to making the playoffs, to be honest. If you were to say to me, how many games out of a wild card are they going to be, and you put the over under at 5, I might take the over. I just don't think they're going to be that close even to a wild card. They're not a good team. They're not a good team. And they had a chance this weekend. Even a split would have, I don't know if it would have proven anything to me, but at least I would have said, okay, maybe we could be buyers at the trade deadline. But listen, I'm going to keep going back to that loss to the Astros before the All-Star game. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. That was the season ender to me. Or as I like to call it, Jose Altuve Part 2, because Jose Altuve Part 1 was the loss in Yankee Stadium earlier in the year, where the Yankees were trying to complete a sweep and Altuve crushed their souls again. And then Jose Altuve Part 2, which I actually still consider to be the worst loss of the year, because to me, that's the loss that ended their season. And I have to tell you, and I hate being like this. I hate being that fan, like that fan that's just not a good fan, but I don't want to watch this team. I don't want to watch them. They're depressing. They're ruining my life. I mean, that's dramatic. They're ruining the summer, as Joe Pacetto has said. Don't let this team ruin your summer. But I honestly don't want to let this team ruin my summer anymore. And you know what? They're not fun to watch anyways. So I feel like I watch them almost out of like moral obligation to the fact that I'm a Yankee fan. And so it's like, okay, I need to watch them because it's my team. Why? It's depressing. It's not fun.
It's not.
know?
It is. There's times that it's fun. Like the game was pretty fun watching Herman light him up yesterday. And then it got very, very confusing and
it got dark,
filled
quick.
with anger. And it was so strange.
I mean, that was a Ron Burgundy that escalated quickly gif kind of thing. Because if you blinked, they were down 5-4.
Yeah. It was bad.
I mean, that's how fast it happened. That's the other thing too. That's the other thing too about this Yankee team and their epic collapses is it happens quick. They rip the Band-Aid off fast. I'll say that for them. Like they don't make you like suffer through it slowly. It's not like a slow burn. They lose it quick at the end. But I just can't remember a team that gives up big leads like this. And when I'm talking big leads, I mean like leads of 3 runs or more.
Even that hit that Herman got, it wasn't a cheap hit, but if you had a good right fielder,
it would have been
caught.
Yeah, it would have been caught.
Like if Aaron Judge was out there, that ball would have been caught.
Yes, it would have. Yeah. And then the game probably ends differently, just because that one out.
Yeah, Allen is terrible. He was like flipping back and forth the whole time. It's like, whoa.
He's not a good outfielder. I mean, they almost blew the game the other day when he and Florial collided.
Yeah.
You know, I've just never seen a team with, I don't know if it's bad karma or juju or just something is wrong. Like they're cursed. Like they're a cursed team right now. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they did to deserve the devastating nature of the losses that they're getting this year. I mean, somebody on that team committed a crime or something.
Yeah.
Because...
So I put up on Twitter, put a poll. I put a poll last week about, should you trade or not? And last week, what's that?
Well, we all know where I was on this. I was in the cell.
Yeah. Last week, it was more people said no than yes. But it was close, like 57 to 42%, 42.9, whatever it was.
Yeah.
This week, we'll see how it goes. I have no idea yet. As of right now, 2 have voted, and it is trade for the future. So I said trade for this year, trade for the future. So far, 2 votes. Trade for the future is.
I'm with those 2.
Blowing it up. I mean, it's really strange and tough to do that with a winning record.
Yeah, but come on, dude. You're a smart guy. You could read tea leaves.
I understand.
You can see the forest for the trees. You know this team's not a playoff team. I know. Like, see, put that. Like, okay, just try to clear your head of the Yankee bias, or not even the bias, but
How
just your love of the
is
team.
it two
And
two wild card teams, right?
Yeah, there's 2 wild cards. Yeah.
So as of right now,
What are they, 4 back of a second wild card? I don't even know.
no, I think they're 3.
Okay, but there are some teams to leapfrog still, right? I mean, it's not like it's just one team ahead of them.
No, it's just one. It's the Mariners.
Oh, okay. And then so
The Mariners
so the 2
are
wild card teams
54.
right now are Tampa and Oakland, right?
The Mariners are 54 and 46.
Well, so it's still technically.
Oh no, the Athletics too. The Athletics.
Yeah, you got to leapfrog Seattle and Oakland. Now, here's the thing. I know they took 2 of 3 from Oakland, but I'm not convinced that they're a better team than Oakland.
Yeah.
That's my issue.
Because Oakland's 56 and 45. The Mariners are 54 and 46, and the Yankees are 51 and 47.
But let's also be clear about something else here. This Yankee team.
So they're only 2 games behind in the loss column to the Athletics.
Yeah, here's the problem though. Here's the other thing that we all also know is that this team is no longer willing to blow by the luxury tax threshold. They're a business first now. They're not a baseball organization. They're not a team like King George, who was just hell bent on winning. They're a team that's trying to turn a profit. They want to be in the black. That's it. And they are willing to do that at the expense of winning or losing, which is unfortunate and which to me is sort of counterproductive. I mean, if the idea is to make money, the best way to make money is to win championships. that's how you recoup money, because then you get to have parades and sell a shit ton of merchandise that says 28-time World Series champion on it. Nobody else could make that claim. So to me, why don't you just go balls to the wall and just try to make a trade for everything you can and go for it? But let's be honest, that's not who they are. This isn't King George. He's dead. He's been dead for well over a decade now, and it's not happening. It's just not happening. Hal is not that guy. And the only other guy who was even remotely like that was Hank, and he's also dead. So if you're pinning your hopes on them making some dramatic moves they're not, remember this, just know this, they are not going to blow past that luxury tax threshold. Regardless of what Hal Steinbrenner told you during a press conference a month ago, that yes, oh no, we will if the situation is right. No, he will not. He will not. And here's the other thing: if your biggest thing is making money and turning a profit, well, here's one thing I do know: you may not have to win the World Series to do that, but you do have to get to the playoffs, because you do need to fill Yankee Stadium so that you can sell $16 beers and $8 hot dogs. That's the only way you actually make a profit. Don't get me wrong. I know they get a ton of money from the Yes Network. That's whatever.
Oh yeah.
But let's make no mistake. Butts in seats and selling merch and selling ridiculously overpriced mediocre food is how you make money in sports, not just television deals. Let's not forget the old school factor here is that you need to fill a stadium and you need to make a lot of money that way. And you want to have a deep playoff run. That's how you turn profits in sports. I mean, and in the regular season. But God, if you're a Yankee fan, what is your, and don't feed me any bullshit about, oh, I'm just a good fan, I want to be there to support my team. What is your impetus? What is your motivation? What is it that's making you get out of bed and saying to yourself, God, I really want to go watch the Yankees play baseball today? Because if you've watched this team the way I have this year, I see no motivation to go spend $100 or more to go to Yankee Stadium right now. I'm sorry, I just don't. What I have said consistently, and this is where I'll put a flourish and wrap this up here, put a bow on it, okay? If this team doesn't care enough to put a winning product on the field, to put a product on the field that Yankee fans actually want to go see, then why should I care as a fan to spend my money or make any effort or use any of my time to go watch them play baseball? The defense rests.
All right. Yeah, it's a tough one this year. And the whole thing with Domingo Germán yesterday really just threw me for a loop. I don't even know what to say about that.
I've never seen a guy get a hook so unceremoniously.
I can understand.
He gave up one hit.
I can understand how he could make a plea saying like, well, we had a very easy lead. We should have easily held it down. Yeah, I understand. But like, one, he's that dominant. Like a one hitter is a big deal. It's still a big deal. Like how many people have one hitters in their career in the major leagues? You know, that's a good thing to have on your mantle. Like I don't know. That's just a
see. And when they lose games, I get so like disgusted that I can't even watch post game. So I don't even know.
I rarely ever watch the post game.
I don't even know what his excuse was for yanking him.
Yeah, it's probably something stupid.
Oh, I'm sure, and I'm sure he weaseled his way out. And I'm sure, you know what's funny though? It's like the media doesn't buy it, the fans don't buy it. Who's buying it? I guess Brian Cashman is buying it, but that's because Brian Cashman is probably dictating. He's probably written a screenplay for Aaron Boone to read off of.
Yeah.
After every game.
Maybe.
Here, read this, please.
Maybe.
It's just the puppet and the puppet master. That's all it is.
All right, up to 6 votes already. Trade for the future is leading 83%. All right, so let's get into the next topic here. We'll do you want to talk to Deshaun Watson real quick before we get in? We only have about 15 minutes left, so.
Yeah, all right. So real quick, Tom Pelissero of NFL Network and Ian Rappaport have both reported today that Deshaun Watson is now officially on the trade market. The Texans are open to trading him. Mm-hmm. Supposedly the cost is 3 first-round picks and more. That is to quote both of them. 3 first-rounders and more. Now, in a normal world, I think you would have teams lining up to give that up for a 26-year-old franchise quarterback who probably still has another 12 to 15 years in him, let's be honest, because he's not just a running quarterback. Deshaun Watson could do it with his arm. The guy's got great field vision. He's got a big arm. He's a winner. He's a national champion. He's everything you want in a quarterback. But let's be honest, this is not let's not bury the lead here. The bottom line is the guy has about 39 more masseuses than you should normally have. And because of that, he's in some legal trouble. Now, why would you, if you're a team, why would you even entertain trading for him right now? You have no idea what's going to happen with him. You have no clue what's going on with him. He could be completely innocent or he could be the most rapey guy you've ever fucking imagined in your life. But the bottom line is you cannot trade for him right now. The risk is outrageous. I mean, listen, we all know that in America, despite the mantra that you are innocent until proven guilty, we all know it's really vice versa. You're guilty until proven innocent in this country. That's just the way it is.
Yes.
That's just the way it is. Okay. And the thing that sticks out to me with Deshaun Watson, and again, I have no barometer for him. I don't know the man from Adam. But what I do know is I just don't understand why you would need to have gone to 40 different masseuses. Like that's the part I still can't comprehend over anything else. And listen, I've never had a massage in my life, so I don't even know like the logistics. Okay. I mean, I know what a massage is, but that's about it. I mean, I know if you're Robert Kraft,
I know where the logistics were on where Deshaun Watson was getting his massage.
Yeah. Well, they've been very clear too about like, I mean, it's been like with excruciating detail, like the Deshaun, though it's gross. But the bottom line is like, unless you're like, Robert Kraft and you're just looking for a little, rub and tug or whatever. I mean, I just don't understand why a man needs 40 masseuses. I don't get that. That's the part I don't get. But listen, that notwithstanding, if all things were equal, I mean, any team, I can't even imagine a team unless they are solidly have a quarterback. Why you would not be willing to entertain that? I can't imagine. Of course, 3 first rounders. I'd give up 3 first rounders in a heartbeat for him. The dude is a top 5 quarterback. He really is, especially now this year. Well,
you can't. That's the whole point. No. It's like, how could you even entertain a trade for him?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a humongous risk. You better have some really good intel if you're going to make that trade.
Or some pretty good masseuses on your staff.
I know, yeah. I know that this Busby guy, the guy who brought up the lawsuit and has, 20 some odd women in his pocket here, I know he's kind of a shady character, or as the kids would say, he's sus at best.
Well, yeah, but all of these people that get involved with this stuff are sus. Like Deshaun Watson is sus.
You have to have 40 masseuses.
Right. Well, you're like,
you gotta
he can easily just get one masseuse to follow him around,
right,
from town to town, state
also,
to state.
And you want to know what the funny part about that is? He probably wouldn't even have to pay for that himself. The Texans would foot the bill for that.
but he needs.
The Texans have a
special
masseuse on
massage.
staff, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh,
They probably have the department that
all
does
their
that
physical
shit.
therapy people.
Yeah, physical therapy.
Yeah, they all.
Why do you need to go rogue with your masseuses? And they're all female. Okay, I get that part. That part I actually get. Like, I wouldn't want a dude touching me either. But so I understand that part. But I don't know, man. Something's weird about it. I'm not saying he's guilty or innocent because I have no fucking clue. I mean, you put a gun to my head, I have no idea.
It does not
look good. But it is not a good look.
No.
The optics of it are horrible.
Yeah.
And I just don't know. Again, I don't want to beat the dead horse. Too late. Why do you need that many masseuses? I just don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
Moving on. Moving on.
I wouldn't give up
I would not.
a first round pick for him at this point.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was none of this going on, I'd give up 4 first rounders for him. Dude, you don't get top 5
a special
quarterbacks
talent,
in
for sure.
trades. And he's in his prime years.
He's a special
He's 26.
Special talent. Can definitely carry a team on his back.
Yeah. Although
And 40 masseuses.
he couldn't carry the Texans on his back last year, though, because they were still horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, still bad enough that they got the Dolphins the number
You have
3
to
draft pick.
have some talent.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Right. I mean, the whole point is even a quarterback alone. That's why I hate people. That's why I hate these people who go on Twitter and they're like, "Oh no, a really truly great quarterback can carry the load. Could they make everyone around him better?" No, not
Well,
necessarily.
you can,
have
but
to have
you
other-
can make yourself a 3-win team to a 5-win team.
You know what? You know what's funny though, because that's the argument that the anti-Tua. It's almost like vaxxers versus anti-vaxxers. Like the anti-Tua crowd, they want to convince you that if Tua was really great, he would have picked up the whole team on his back and taken them to a Super Bowl last year. Okay, you're just stupid if you even believe something like that. You really shouldn't even be watching.
Like
You have no
Josh
right to
Allen
be
was
watching
really
this.
good last year, but he had Stephon Diggs who was really good last year.
Yeah.
Beasley played out of his mind, who I can't stand now.
Oh,
but
God.
he played out of his mind. You know, he had good help from a wide variety of running backs. He had
But the
a
point
great
is,
offensive
Deshaun
line.
Watson, Deshaun Watson is a top 5 quarterback, and his team was a dumpster fire last year. So
The
I don't
Bills'
want to hear
defense was
about
great.
how a great quarterback raises your team.
Mm-hmm.
It to an extent it does.
Do you think Patrick
But-
Mahomes would be slinging touchdowns all over the place if he didn't have Kelsey,
What about Kelsey and Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, and Tyreek Hill. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
no.
come on. You need
I mean, his
players.
worst receiver is Sammy Watkins.
Like Jerry Rice was great. Joe Montana was great. They just made each other greater.
Greater. Yes. And Jerry Rice to me is the greatest football player who ever lived.
Right.
And some of that is in part due to Joe Montana.
So there's that. All right. And you can go into Troy Aikman and Michael Irving and, Emmett Smith, all those guys. Like they had a crazy defense. Like just
They also had Alvin Harper. And they
yes,
had Jay
Alvin Harper was
Novacek.
good. Yeah. Like
And Jay
back in the
Novacek.
day, my Bills,
And Daryl Johnson.
Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, James
And they had
Lofton,
the Cowboys
Bruce
had the best
Smith,
offensive line
Daryl
ever.
Talley. They had a lot of good talent. So
Yes.
you need the talent to get there for sure. All right,
It's not just a quarterback in the league. I hate to say it.
let's get into.
Oh, this is fun.
Oh, I gotta. Oh, the clip. I have to play the clip because I forgot we're doing a. The Mount Rushmore of
I'm excited for this one. First of all,
favorite
it was
movie
extreme-
characters.
It was extremely easy. I had it figured out before we even ended last week's broadcast.
Holy crap, that was
But
fast.
I also discovered, probably not surprisingly when you think about this, that there was an interesting tie that binds all 4 of these. And I will
Interesting.
tell you that at the end.
Interesting.
Or
All right,
maybe at the
I
beginning.
have one caveat, just
Okay.
because.
Okay.
But so I cheated a little. Basically, is what I'm saying.
Cheater. Sinner. What have you done?
but
What
anyway.
discretion have you done?
Let's get into top 4, basically Mount Rushmore of favorite movie characters. Now, I had said this before that my movie characters could change basically day to day, week to week. There's so many characters that I just absolutely adore.
You're a
And
day-to-day kind
there
of
were
guy.
certain ones that I put in this list and I'm like, I can't put them on that list right now. And why? I don't know. Like there's plenty of movies like Tin Cup, Kevin Costner. I love him. I love him. Happy Gilmore, I love Adam Sandler in that movie. Chris Farley, Tommy Boy, holy crap. Like that's an amazing guy. Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura. Oh my God, I love those movies.
Yeah.
Like they're just
Yeah.
like those are movies to me that just are some of my all-time favorites. Like Vince Vaughn
Correct.
and Owen Wilson in Wedding Crashers. It's amazing. I love them. I love their chemistry together. It's awesome. But I couldn't put them in I couldn't put them in. There were certain ones that just popped into my head. There was one instantly. I have a picture of him right there. I had to put on the list. I had to, because to me, he's the greatest movie villain I've seen of all time.
Okay.
But anyway, let's start off with the Lincoln.
Sure.
I'll start off with Lincoln. And this is a character that I have mentioned before many times on the show. And he's one of my favorite. He's not a main character. He is a secondary character, but I feel like he stole the show, particularly in his scenes. Absolutely stole the show from an Academy Award winner, wasn't an Academy Award winner at the time, but, and that is Tom Cruise as Les Grossman in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I absolutely love him in that movie. And to me, that performance was so damn good. He should have received some Academy of love for that. Like RDJ got Academy love for his performance as Kirk Lazarus in Tropic Thunder. Yes. I feel like Tom Cruise should have absolutely gotten some love for that. He was so good and totally embraced that character.
It's some of the funniest dialogue I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh. Diet Coke!
I mean, it's just, it's so great.
It's based off a true character.
Yeah, yeah. But the look too,
so
the bodysuit because he was fat.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he's not even that fat. He's like fat but ripped. He's like fat jacked, you know?
Yeah.
And his dancing.
Right. Fat jacked, yeah. Sort of like Satan in South Park, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. All right. So we're going with Lincoln here. So we're talking top two. Mm-hmm. So for me, my number two is, this will come as no surprise to you, this guy.
Quint. Yeah.
Quint from Jaws.
And
you may even be surprised that he's not my number one, but when you see you know who my number one is, you'll understand though. So yes. I mean, come on. First of all, how could Quint not be on my list?
I know who your number one is.
I'm sure you do. It's not that hard.
Is that what she said?
Yeah, man. I mean, there was. Yep. She said it last night. Quint's my easy Lincoln. It was. Okay. There was no question about it. He's. We all know what kind of an iconic character he is, and let's be honest, the Indianapolis scene is one of the great movie scenes of all time.
Yeah, great. All right, like it, love it. All right, let's move on to the Teddy Roosevelt. And I'll get into this one. I had to give this guy some love. There's been so many movies that I loved of his, and I could have gone down the list of several movies that I just absolutely loved of his. But this movie, to me, I absolutely loved his performance. It was a long movie, and you know what? It flew by, and it was so entertaining and so shady and so crazy. And I thought he knocked the role out of the park. He got some Academy love. He got some, Golden Globe love for it. And that is Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Excellent.
And some people might say Jonah Hill stole that. And I do agree that they played together. They were both amazing in that movie. Both amazing. But
I'm not leaving.
What?
I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. That is so great. Like when they all start going nuts.
Fun coupons.
When they all start going like bonkers, though, I remember I was like,
yeah, you go that like it. That movie is just absolutely tremendous. I could watch that anytime anybody wants to sit down and watch that with me. Let's do it.
What does he say? Like they're gonna have to bulldozer to take me out of here or something like that.
Oh my god! That's based on a real person too.
Yeah,
like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. That's
a good one. That's a good call. Okay, so this is Teddy Theodore Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt. Yeah.
Luckily I've got props here with me to be able to pull a lot of this off.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, hold on. Wait.
Oh, Jesus.
Wait. Hold on.
Here, I'll just do a little of this. Now, how about this one?
Want to do this right. We're doing it right. My God, I can make a whole Funko thing out of this. Okay. Theodore Roosevelt is... you know what? I don't even need to say a word. All I have to do is breathe.
Another phenomenal movie villain. Also, a movie hero.
Darth Vader.
A hero and a villain at the same time.
I still think more villain than hero.
Oh, of course.
I mean, come on.
He did so, you can't come back from
Killed
that kind of stuff.
younglings.
He killed younglings. He was...
That's it. That's all you need.
He was...
I don't care if you threw the Emperor off a,
right.
into the...
He
into
redeemed himself slightly at the end. And granted, somebody was messing with his brain. Somebody was messing with him. But still.
Yeah, somehow, I mean, he still somehow got into Jedi heaven, but, I mean, maybe there's hope for mass murderers. I mean, if you can make your way to be like a Force ghost after
I would
you
say
kill
it does
people,
suck to be manipulated like that, though, like...
Yeah, he's still a villain to me.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, you still have to, like... You did that stuff.
But you gotta own it.
Yeah.
But an iconic movie character. I mean,
Yes.
absolutely.
Oh, my God.
I didn't even need to say anything.
Who doesn't know Darth Vader?
And I can never get like enough Darth Vader too. Like I have consistently said that Rogue One is my second favorite.
Just
Star
because of
Wars
that scene
movie
at the end?
Just because of that scene at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, that alone, like that is just bonkers. Like that's Lord Vader in his prime whooping ass.
That's like watching The Mandalorian, like that when Luke comes in and just starts slaying all those robots. Like that's the stuff that you wanted to see.
That was tremendous.
Yeah.
That is a tremendous scene.
Yeah. Oh my! That was like one of those scenes as a Star Wars fan. You literally jaw hits the floor.
Yeah.
And you're just like, and then when it's like in the middle of it, then you like pick your jaw up because you're like jumping through the ceiling. You're so amped.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Go.
All right.
TJ.
Thomas Jefferson. This is my caveat. So I had to do something different here because I picked a guy and I was like, oh, I loved him in this role. Oh, I loved him in this role. Oh, I loved him in this role. And I couldn't pick one. So this is going to be 3 shades of different characters.
Ooh,
one is Robert Downey Jr. as Sherlock Holmes. 2 is Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. And 3 is Robert Downey Jr. as Kirk Lazarus in Tropic Thunder.
Oh, wow. Okay, so just Robert Downey Jr. on the mountain.
Yes. But it's going to be
that.
3 different...
That's cool. He's had a face in thirds, basically.
Because he's been that good in so many different roles that I just couldn't... because I was like, oh, he is Iron Man. Oh, he is Sherlock Holmes. Oh, he is Kirk Lazarus. Like, he got so good into those roles that I had to just pick all 3.
Well, that segues nicely into my he is this person. Because if you've known me long enough to know that when I say he is insert blank... there's only one guy when you're talking about Superman.
I totally forgot about that. I didn't know.
Christopher Reeve is Superman.
I mean, I know who your GW is.
This is gonna require some, but there he is. He's on my wall. He's on my wall smiling at me right above my head. There he is. This is my favorite scene in all Superman movies is the end credits where he flies off into space and he smiles at the camera. I cry almost every time. I'm gonna cry now. Now, what's funny actually, and that you did the music there is so before we do our George Washingtons, let me just tell you that the tie that binds for all 4 of mine is that John Williams is the composer for all 4.
So you know who the number 1 is, and I know who the number 1 is, and anybody that knows you knows who the number 1 is.
They better.
All right, my number 1, my George Dub, is my favorite movie villain of all time, and I've made this very clear. I have always loved him in this role ever since I saw him. We talked about the director of this franchise when we were saying who should possibly remake Jaws, and I said Christopher Nolan right off the bat. I was like, oh, I think that he would do an amazing job with that. Like, yeah, that would be right up his alley. I think the music, the score and everything, that would be awesome. My guy is Heath Ledger as the Joker.
That's very nice.
Joker, to me, I have a picture, a black and white charcoal drawing of him as the Joker up there. And it is, I just talk about a guy who really engulfed it, like really got into that role so much so it really changed him. And unfortunately, but he also Oscars, and it was just an amazing, amazing performance. And, rip, because he was a talented actor. And I absolutely loved his performance as the Joker. And, there's only, you look at it and you're like, Jack Nicholson, was an amazing Joker.
Yeah.
And to me, it's not even close for me. I think Heath Ledger was that much better. Like, I have not seen a performance like that, like stealing the show besides Darth Vader. Like Darth Vader stole the show as a villain.
Let me ask you a question. Has there ever been a role in movies that has been portrayed by three people so incredibly well as that role? I mean, you're talking about Joaquin Phoenix, who won the Academy Award for it, and deservedly so. You're talking about Jack Nicholson, who is still my favorite Joker to this day.
One of the greatest actors of all time.
You're talking about Heath Ledger. Right. And Heath Ledger, who also won an Academy Award. Two of those three guys, and you could argue all three, should have won Academy Award. Jack was nominated, I believe. You know what?
I don't know if he was. He probably was.
I think he was. In a different time, he would have won.
Yeah.
Meaning, like now.
Yeah.
He would have won that.
He was good.
I don't know
great.
who won that year, because that would have been 1989. I don't know who won that year, but if that had been now, he would have won. He was unbelievably great. Jack was unbelievably great in that role. People, I think, forget how special of a performance that was. And you're talking about, to your point, one of the greatest actors of all time, a guy who has won, 2 or 3 Academy Awards? You're not just talking about some run-of-the-mill nobody. You're talking about Jack Nicholson. I mean, the guy's played more incredible roles than you can imagine. And his Joker performance is nuts. I'm sorry. It's awesome.
So that was...
While you're doing that.
So this is going to be, you're going to find out right now why he didn't win if he was nominated. Yeah. Because there's no way that he was taking this one. Okay. So the person that won.
Tell me the person who won. I bet you I'll know the role.
Denzel Washington.
Oh, shit. 1989?
So the Academy Award was in 1990.
Oh, 90.
And he won for Glory.
Oh, Glory. Yeah. Okay.
So there was no way he was going to take it.
Yes. I mean, it didn't stand out to me as much as Jack, but okay.
Right, but it's not a movie that you probably have watched as many times as you've watched Batman.
No, Batman is that. By the way, I think
Glory is the kind of movie that you watch once or twice in your life.
Once, and you're like, yeah, I've seen enough.
Yeah.
I mean, great, but I've seen enough.
Yes.
The one thing I can tell you is that Batman 1989 is the movie, still to date, the movie I have seen most in the movie theater 7 times. Saw it 7 times. It's not my favorite movie by any stretch, but it's the movie I saw the most in theaters. I was obsessed with that movie.
I saw Wedding Crashers 7 times.
So, do you want to just guess who mine is? Because I think you already know who my George Washington is.
It's not Han Solo, but Indiana Jones.
This is a big golden 10-inch.
Wow, look at that. You're not. Oh, there you are. Now you're nice and. Wow, look at that. Oh, that's sweet.
Throw me the idol. I throw you the whip.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the idol in his hand.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, it's a cool one. It was one that I actually got off of funko.com.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big boy. It's a thick boy, as the kids say.
Yeah. That boy, he's thick.
He's thick. Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, I love it. Temple of the Forbidden Eye.
Here, I'll to show you the one that I was talking about.
How could it not be Indiana Jones, my all-time favorite movie character by a mile? Not even close. Don't get me wrong. I love Quint. I love Superman. I love Darth Vader. But, man, it is not close. When it comes to my George Washington, it is not. That's beautiful. It is not close. That is really nice. That is nice. I have – when you go – well, you've been to my house and you've been in my basement, right? Since it's – yeah. I mean, when you walk down the stairs – it's been a while. When you walk down the stairs and on the left wall there, because my basement is divided basically into two ways, sports on one half and then like movies, pop culture on the other. And when you walk down the left-hand side, I have two of the 4 pictures that are there. I have 2 Indiana Jones pictures that are working your way down the hallway. He is my favorite movie character ever. It's not close. It won't be close. There's not another movie character that will ever come out that will even come close. And I think I can say that with incredible authority because let's be honest, if Quint is my number 2 and he's that far behind Indiana Jones, and I love Quint, there ain't nothing coming close. So it is Dr. Jones, Dr. Henry Jones. We named the dog Indiana. That's my guy. That is my number 1 all time.
All right. I like it. That was fun. I like doing that. Getting the Yankees so far, 8 votes in now. Okay. 87.5% trade for the future.
So 7 out of 8.
Trade for the future.
Pretty solid.
All right. We are pretty much ready to end our show.
Spin the wheel.
Oh, yeah.
While you're spinning, do you want me to just real quick outro go with a couple of quick movie reviews?
Yeah.
Okay, so I watched a couple of horror flicks over the weekend. One was A Quiet Place Part 2, and the other one was this movie that I had been waiting for it to show up on. Where did I watch it? It was I think it was HBO Max. I think it was HBO Max. But it was Freaky, the movie with Vince Vaughn. And where he swaps a body. He's a serial killer, and he swaps bodies with a 17-year-old girl. And she becomes the serial killer, and like they have like 24 hours where they have to like swap back or it becomes permanent. So anyways, Quiet Place, real quick. I really enjoyed Quiet Place 2, and I think it sets up very nicely for a final chapter. I do hope there's part 3 because it's hanging a little bit. So I would really like to see A Quiet Place Part 3, but I give Quiet Place 2 a solid 7 out of 10. Really good, really engaging right from the beginning. Enjoyed it a lot. I don't know if I liked it as much as the first, but I would say I probably liked it just as much as the first. It's probably right on par, which I think that's actually a really good thing. Because if you could like a second one as much as you can like the original, I think you're saying so. And I like the original. So really good flick. Enjoyed that a lot. Freaky was just fun, man. That was just a fun movie. I liked the characters. I liked Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn was great. Him trying to play a teenage girl was really funny. I actually give that one an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed myself. Maybe even an 8.5 out of 10. That's a fun movie, man. Just throw that on, grab a bucket of popcorn, and just enjoy. I mean, it was fun. It was a comedy and a horror movie, rolled into one. And I enjoyed both of those movies this weekend. I had some good movie watching this weekend. I think one I watched Saturday, and then Freaky I watched on Saturday, and then I watched Quiet Place 2 on Sunday. So
nice.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right, let's get ready to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel.
Oh, we got to do the little thing first.
I'm going to sort it out.
The wheel
Kitten.
of destiny.
Hi, Phoebe.
What the heck happened? That was weird.
Phoebe, come here. Come here, baby. No? There's a Phoebe in the background.
All right, here we go. Franklin and we don't have time to do Franklin and Bash right now. We're spinning.
Why? What do you mean?
Yes.
What?
What the heck is going on? Why is that? What is going on here? Oh, I'm on YouTube. That's why. All right. So we are recasting a movie.
Uh-oh.
Three Amigos.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Recast. 3 Amigos.
I'm going to do a fun spin on that.
Sweet. All right. Thank you guys for watching, listening, however you took this in. We're going to be leaving you today, and it's 10:15 on Monday. We'll be back next Monday, hopefully around 9 a.m., and we will see you with a 3 Amigos recast, and we will also get into whatever sports stuff is going on at that time. All right. You can find me on Twitter at Einhorn
You can find me on Twitter at _Bry_man, and we've reached the end of the program, and in the words of the great Tony Stark, part of the journey is the end. But we will be back next week. Today was a real Funko Pop kind of. I was Carrot Top today. I brought all the props.
Oh, yeah, you did.
So we will see you next week. Like a great week, everybody.
Do you have a Carrot Top Funko?
I do not. I wouldn't want to. He's so scary looking.
He is scary looking. He looks like
he
looks like a serial killer. Like
he looks like
movie.
if Chucky was real.
Yeah. So weird. Gross.
But he's jacked.
He is jacked, which makes him even more scary looking.
I know. You're like, you imagine like a ripped Chucky like running after you. Like that is
all right.
horrifying. Great
Thank
horror
you.
movie.
We'll see you again soon. Peace
Stay
out.
classy, Planet Globe.
Peace.
I love you.
I think you're all right.